See, I told you I'll remember something to keep this conversation going, because I just noticed that Tamara Dobson, his first name, Tamare. Isn't that a trip? Did she know did they know before that we referenced Egypt as Cam and Nubia and Kibulan and all these other things like that we came up, that they didn't call themselves? Do you know what I mean? The Egyptians ancient did never call themselves Al-Kibulan, and they didn't refer to themselves as Cam. Okay, they had other names, and I don't think Tamara Dobson, maybe somebody who named her with an intent, who knows this stuff. But do you know, until it's time, it may not even be your charge or responsibility to know some things. Like, you're more culpable if you do. It's more weird if you are aware of some things that are in motion before the elect are made illuminated, right before the elect, because there's a lot of petty shit going on that doesn't involve them, and is not where their mentally frequency is anyways to even address it. Until we can, and you know what I mean, like, okay, so to like bring up awareness for everyone, it's going to be based on timely information. Lies are based on timely untimely, what's it called, timely omissions. Like, a lie is actually just, yeah, like it's a omission, and it's untimely truth. Like, if you tell someone the truth when they're not ready to receive it, that's the only way you can lie. That's the only way you can lie. You're not going to deceive somebody with better more sophisticated IQ or something like that. So that's just like an that's like moronic or something. But I mean, aside from trying to define who's what and this is that and compartmentalizing everything, I'm not doing that right now. Like, I've already had my compartmentalizations done and everything, and I don't even blame people who use colloquialisms. I don't think they're trying to enslave my mind. I think it's just time for them to get away with using those colloquialisms, because what they mean is different than what it translates to you with your grasp on lexicon. Like, why are you gonna cheat? You know what I mean? So Tamare Dobson, is that knowingly or it's a deep knowledge. It's like a knowledge that you can find out later because it belonged to you. It'll pertain to who it belongs to. And then they're coming up with this Cleopatra movie right now to try to knock the energy offline or some shit like that. I don't know if you want conspiracy theory or something like that, but I couldn't imagine that these fumbling dumb fucks would ever come up with the wacky doodle fucking ideas like this. Oh wait, we have to start being. See, the thing is, you can't really be cognizant of what's going on if you don't recognize that it doesn't look good for you to be taking losses and everything. If you let somebody to gaslight somebody, and you have better awareness of what's going on and shit, like, see how they are trying to go after those the uneducated, low information, and they might get some of them, because with a lot of information you can get addicted to the power of thinking that it's more relevant that you having all this information. It's not that they have to be deceived. It's that you can imagine that until it affects their life, or that they have to deal with it, and they have to do the research. Like, you didn't start researching cancer until your husband got sick. You know what I mean? There, that's a good example. So it's like that. And some archons are not even really. They're not even. Yeah, they're really like low level archons, and they want to take they have knowledge that they use to about you, that they use to cause conflict, and then want you to attach to the pettiness shit. They like Cleopatra more than you do, if you know which pharaoh, you know what I mean? There's some pretty cool names out there. I'm trying to remember them before I have to go back and look it up. Because once something, it's not like a fashion nugget, but I mean, I don't want to get it wrong. You know, it'd be cool if it was already committed to memory, because it would mean that you have looked, done your research, but sometimes you have to do multiple times. So just not knowing something, you can't, when you want to say what you know, you'll look for it, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, I can't remember this stuff. It's not to take away from it or anything like that, because you can expect at one point, most recently, I didn't know. It's not weird. It's weird when somebody knows this shit and then they say, oh, you know what? Let's make this, like, let's do going in revision and doing like this and that. Like, let's set them up for some petty moral relativism and shit. Like, they want to push later. It's, you know what I mean? It's not about actual history. It's about the distracting you so that they can get together and organize how to get you to co-sign and acquiesce onto another regimen of like relativism, and they think they could just rattle you like an Etch-a-Sketch, and then it'll go back to blank and start over. So, you know what I mean? At some point you have to think that they're not really that intelligent. They just came into the knowledge way before you. I mean, or somebody gave it to them or taught it to them in advance to prepare, like in a way to prepare for the threat of the competition that's to come. If you come back into the knowledge, then you won't be affected. You're not going to be affected in the same petty scale. Like, I don't fucking bow down and worship Cleopatra. You know what I mean? I heard she likes big dicks, so doesn't that reverse things? Doesn't that mean that she's gonna be the one on her knees? Look at that.